Mezco. I know you're probably never going to watch this video. And I know you probably don't care anyways. But when you take the Wolverine that everybody wants, the yellow one, like everybody wants this figure, and then you make it very limited and very hard to get, why do you do that? What's your point behind that? So you take the brown one, which is cool, and I'm going to get it. It's not nearly as cool as this one. And then you put the Mezco twist, and you put like Ninja Turtle shoulder pads on them, and just weird stuff. And you make that one available to everybody, and then everybody doesn't want that one. Then you take the one that everybody wants, and you make it extremely hard to get. What's your point behind that? It's just a dick move. Why would you do that? I mean, yes, I was fortunate enough to get one, but not everybody was. And I'd like to see my fellow collectors come up on stuff like this, because there's no reason why it should be hard to get. Just make enough for everybody to get. So basically, we had to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to pre-order this, wait online. I mean, people got to work, or they got to wake up early, or they're busy, and it sucks when you even have to do that. Then they sell out in a second, and then it's like a lot of people got screwed. And I think you could buy up to like 3 or 6 of them. And first off, if you're that guy that buys 3 or 6 of these, knowing that other people need this, and you're not hooking your friends up with them, so you're purposely buying them to screw the other fellow collectors. Like that's what you would call a dick move. It's pretty much just as bad as what Mezco did by making this thing so hard to get, because if they didn't make it so hard to get, you guys wouldn't be hoarding these things. Like, it's Christmas. If you got 3 of these or 6 of these or whatever, hook somebody up. Like, sell it for what you paid for it. Do the right thing. Like, maybe they'll return the favor. Like I hooked up people with Thor box sets when I went to Comic-Con, and they all basically hooked me back up, and I didn't want them to. They just wanted to hook me up. It's like playing it forward. Like, don't be so damn greedy. Just get one. Save one for the next guy. I think some other toy channel says that all the time. And it's actually a really good saying. Don't hoard these toys. Don't buy 3 of them. Don't buy 6 of them, unless they're for your friends. And this thing, it was like, you got the brown one coming out, which looks pretty cool. This thing comes out with 3 heads, and so most likely they're going to make 3, so plan on probably getting a gray one. It just sucks, but why would you buy the brown one and the gray one if you can't get the yellow one? And if you got to spend $200 on eBay, that sucks. I know, I feel your pain, because if you didn't get one, I understand, because I never got that classic Punisher, and I'm not paying eBay prices for it. It just sucks. If you guys are going to reissue it, and I can pick it up for $80, cool, because $80 is already a lot of money. $200, $300, just forget it, dude. I'll stop collecting toys if I got to do stuff like that. Enough about the rant. Let's check out this Wolverine, because he does look pretty cool. Even though he's a little too tall, he does look pretty cool. Alright, so here he is out of the package, and I basically pulled out all of my yellow Wolverines that I think that I have. I might have missed 1 or 2. I'm not sure, but I think this is it. And as you see on the scale, that the only thing I don't like about this action figure is the scale. I don't know why they couldn't give us a little bit smaller body. Like, he's basically 6 inches tall, which, you know, like, I'm going to compare him with other figures. I just wanted to compare him with Wolverine. He's basically the tallest Wolverine that you have. I got him right next to the brown Wolverine, and that to me is like the perfect scale Wolverine. Like, I love the size of that thing. All these other ones, like these ones down here, these are basically 6 inches too. So I don't know, I guess I don't know, just Mezco, I would expect a little bit more. I mean, these are $20 action figures. The Mezco is an $80 action figure. Then the one right next to him is one that I like a lot. He's real classic looking. Like, he's definitely a little bit shorter, but I definitely like the size of the brown one even more. And if you come down here, these ones are actually pretty small, but I mean, this one with the weird cat face on it thing, I'm not really digging that at all. And then down here, that just costume, man, it's borderline brown. So that's kind of a weird thing. And basically, back in the day, they would make 2 of everything, and for some reason, I guess I didn't have a problem with it. You basically got like the masked, unmasked, open mouth, closed mouth, This one, they only did one of them. The brown one, you know, we got 2 of those. Now we got mass unmatched, which I'm pretty cool with that. Then you come down here and basically all these are the same. Like they're either, like the legs are different, they're a little different, they're slightly different. But I don't know, like this one has a closed mouth, open mouth, masked with like a growling teeth, and this one is kind of like a snarl face, and this one has like a pointy finger on it. So, I mean, I'm a sucker, obviously, because for some reason I feel the need to buy every variation, which you definitely don't need to do that. There's kind of my Wolverines. I'm going to put those back on the shelf, and then we'll get into this Mezco. Here he is next to a Mezco cap, just for scale purposes. So you see Wolverine standing basically exactly 6 inches tall, and the cap is like 6 1/4, almost 6 1/2 inches tall. So there is a size difference there. I kind of feel as if Wolverine should be even shorter. So he is pretty in scale with the Mezco line, but I mean, I like Wolverine short. Like, of course, I'm going to crouch him down or put him in some cool pose. So I guess the scale is it's pretty close. I guess it's close enough. So maybe I'll stop bitching about this. All right, so here's this Wolverine up close, and after, you know, checking this thing out, he's really cool. Like, I know they do the Mezco touch on him. These aren't really complaints about the figure. He's still cool. Just some weird things. Like, basically they give Wolverine a utility belt. Like, I know he's supposed to have a red belt, but then they added pouches on it, which that's kind of weird. I guess that's like the Mezco touch. Me personally, I'd rather just have a red belt with no pouches. I get it, because like, where's he supposed to put his chapstick or his condoms or his cigarettes or cigars or whatever? Like, where's he supposed to put them? Just tuck those in his boots. So I get the little pouches. It does make a little sense. So the pouch thing does kind of make sense. And then the boots, like, he's not supposed to have laces on his boots. So that's kind of a weird thing that you would do that. Like, why would you add the laces on here? And that didn't bother me so much, because I was like, okay, I get it, laces, that's kind of like the Mezco touch. But then you put buckles on the back. So apparently to get these boots on, you got to buckle them on the back and you got to lace them on the front. Like, do one or the other, because I think it'd be way cooler if you took the laces off, which, you know, that's not going to happen, and just did the buckles on the back, because that makes sense, and that's like really cool. I mean, there's tons of extra detail for them. I guess you know, it looks cool. I would just appreciate this figure a little bit more with the buckles and without the laces, because I don't really dig both. Or do one or the other. The laces, it just kind of takes from his classic look on that. I actually think they did a pretty decent job on the Speedo on the front, and then on the back, like, man, how do you have like big thighs like that and no ass? Like, dude, where did his ass go? It's just like non-existent. Like, maybe they could put a little bit more of a butt on these characters, because it's like it just goes back straight to legs. Like, there's nothing there, which it kind of gives them like that old man butt, and it's just kind of like, I don't know. Like, I know we're talking about the butt a lot, but come on. Like, they're very generous with the package in the front, and then the butt. I mean, when I get that Harley Quinn figure, I hope she's got a butt on her, because the dude butt, like, it's kind of like, who cares? But a chick butt, please put a butt on these figures, because that just looks weird. Because basically you have this problem on all of them. All right, enough talking about his butt. The articulation on this, it's a Mezco. It's the same as all the Mezco. I love the articulation on these things myself. I think it's plenty of articulation. One of the things that really stands out is on the arm joints. They're double jointed. There's no pin. The pin is what always kills it for me. So you basically take any other action figure, and they always have those pins. Like, I mean, you can do them without. There's a few companies not doing pins. Mezco is one of them. I like to see action figures evolve into something better, and that's definitely why I collect Mezco. Like, this real fabric, the soft goods, it hides all the articulation basically on this, except for like the elbow. Like, you can't even tell that it has a bicep swivel on it, because that's done really well. It's kind of hard to really beat that joint. Like, yeah, you can see the hinge in there, but I mean, it looks good. It's articulated. The wrist joint, that couldn't be done any better. So I also like that a lot. The shoulder pads on this thing, they're actually on a hinge, which is kind of cool. And on mine, it seems like it's kind of limited on that. It's just really stiff. Like, you might be able to work it, but I mean, I'd hate to break one of these and send it back online. It's not like you can like go to Target real quick and return this stuff. The costume on this, once again, man, they killed it. Like, maybe because I know some of the earlier ones, the costumes were really baggy. I am not seeing that problem on this thing at all. The chest on this thing is like extra big. Like, it really sticks out, but on this figure, I mean, I like it. Like, so it kind of has like that articulation there, and really works. Like, it's done really well. The ankles on it, like, you're not really getting a ton of movement out of them, but they look really clean, so I'm not really going to complain about that. Like, because if it looks clean, I don't mind missing out on a little bit of articulation. With this, he comes with several hands, and I'll show you those in a second, but it's Wolverine. It's claw hands. Like, that's basically it. Like, I couldn't imagine displaying him without claw hands. He does come with an unmasked head, which is cool, but that growl on his face, like, it just is off, dude. Like, see, like, the corners, it's like, is he backed up, or is he growling? Like I don't know, man. Like, the growl face on this one is definitely cool. The growl face on this one, I mean, it's a cool head. It's just a little off. Like, and then here's the other head, like the plain head, which this is cool. Like, I'm sure we're going to end up displaying all three of these, because we're probably going to get 3 Wolverines. We know we're going to get at least 2. I'll probably put the unmasked head on the brown one, but then when you do an unmasked head, give me a hood that folds down. Don't just give me an unmasked head. Like, give me the hood too. And I know you guys aren't going to do that, but that would be a cool option. Could you imagine having a fabric hood that actually folds down? It doesn't have to go over this, but it actually folds down, and then you put this on. That would be a really cool touch. It's an $80 action figure. I would kind of expect you guys to go the extra mile and do that. But the head sculpts are actually really good. And then it comes with this Ogun mask, which is definitely a cool accessory. I really like it. But then once again, it's just like the Deadpool, the head pool. There's no stand and no good way to display this. And your guys like, so it won't. I mean, I don't want it on my Wolverine. It won't really fit on the Wolverine either way. But it's a mask. It should have some kind of a strap or something in the back to like hold it on there. I think that would be a lot better if it did have a little strap. For you could put it on an action figure. So if you're wondering like, who is this Ogun character anyways? Well, basically, if you've been in this collecting game for a while, you already own him. He's actually this guy right here. This was like an accessory back in the day when Marvel Legends actually cared, and they used to try to go the extra mile. So this is him. This is the guy that the mask goes on. The mask is definitely way too big for him, but you could put it on there with like a rubber band or something and display him like this. So that would actually be a cool like backdrop for this guy, because what else are you going to do with this thing if you have it? So you guys that are like trying to run out and always get that next set of Marvel Legends, like, slow down on that, man. Spend a little time on eBay, like, complete your collection. Like, get something cool like this, because now that you have the mask and you don't have this, you're like, man, I wish I actually had that. And it would actually be cool to have this character, and you basically kind of do, because he looks like all these guys back here. Like, granted, this is what his costume looks like for the most part. It's basically black, white with like a little like chainmail or blue or whatever that is underneath. So you could basically take one of these guys, if you're going to repaint it or not, or repaint one or do like a custom, which I'm not, and then put this mask on there, and then you actually have a really good Ogun. Like, that would be almost spot on to his character, which would be cool. But once again, like, the mask doesn't have a strap or anything, so you'd have to put like a rubber band or a little, I wouldn't want to put glue, but something to put it on there. So this is basically what this character looks like. I mean, that's cool. I'll probably use this thing to display it with. I don't know if I could put it on there or not. He could also just kind of put it in his lap. It's just kind of a cool little touch. This thing was like in the very back of my toy shelf. Now it actually kind of means something to me, because I have a mask to go with the character that I never really cared about, but now I actually care about this character. And on these other hands, basically, he has these open hands, which are really cool. I really like them. It's Wolverine. What's the point? Like, what am I going to do with these? And then he also comes with 2 fisted hands. Once again, it's Wolverine. If the claws aren't out, this really makes no sense. And then he comes with hands to hold with the sword that he doesn't come with. So I'll probably use the sword on the brown Wolverine. I don't like Wolverine with the samurai sword. It just makes no sense to me. Like, he's got claws coming out of his hands, so the sword is, I don't get it. But you do have sword hands. They basically just give you these because he's going to come with the brown one. The brown one's going to come with the sword. That's it. That's the Wolverine. I'm going to put him up there with the Mezco collection. You can check that out, see how it's going. This thing is awesome. If you guys were lucky enough to get one, congratulations. If you weren't, I feel your pain, man. I know what it's like. Like, missing out on that classic Punisher was devastating to me. If I missed out on this yellow Wolverine, like, I like yellow Wolverine even more than I like classic Punisher. So I mean, it sucks when you can't get this, and then when you see them on eBay, like, there's just no way I'm paying more than $80 for one of these. Like, they're just not worth it. Like, they're great toys, but they're definitely not worth $200. The stitch on this one, that's one of my complaints. Usually, I kind of wish they'd do a zipper or something on that. It doesn't look that great. I know sometimes they put it down the sides, and sometimes this looks really good. Like, so there's different ways to do that. I just don't really like that Frankenstein stitch down the back. Like, I wish that they would put it on the side. Just something different. Maybe you can only do it certain ways on certain action figures. I don't know. I don't make clothes, and I don't make action figures. I'm just some guy that has way too many of them. Either way, I've rambled on enough. Let's get to that collection. All right, so now for my favorite part of the video, the part where I show off my collection, and hopefully it's your favorite part too. I have a few other characters in here. Deadpool, just really digging that red Deadpool. I like the blue one too, but that red one, man, that was a phenomenal Mezco action figure. I have the Nightcrawler in here. Just, you put a few vehicles in here. It definitely helps it out a little bit, because if you just look at action figures, then it's hard to display them. It's hard to do any kind of action poses with these things when they don't have villains or something for them to tie into. So I did have to mix in a few characters that aren't Mezco. I had it all Mezco at one point. I'm sure you guys have probably seen that, but I think it looks a little bit better. Definitely with that Batmobile in there. It's still just an amazing toy. Here's the new Wolverine. Here's how I have him displayed. This is how I'm going to display him. That little accessory that comes with that Marvel Legend is really cool. The mask looks way too big on his head. I could stick it on there. I just go ahead and set it on his sword. And then I got him kind of floating above that thing. So, I think that guy trained him. He fought him. Like, all kinds of things. So, Wolverine flying up above, claws out. You can't really get a better action pose than that with that Wolverine. With that stand, like, I love those stands. Best stand in the business. And as far as the rest of the Mezco collection, it's coming along nice. They're really got a heavy flow to them. It's like I got one on the way, I got one more coming, another one coming. So we're complaining that they're never coming out, but when they do come out, it seems like they all come out at once. So you spend like, I don't know, I don't want to say because my wife might watch this video, but you spend a ton of money on these things in like 2 months, and then for the rest of the year, you're lucky if you get one or two. There's the Mezco collection. I really appreciate you guys. You guys have a Merry Christmas. Thanks for watching.